Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Razak at CMTrading. Today is August 6th, 2018, and today is Monday morning. So looking at the economic events of the day, nothing scheduled for today, but as the week cooks up, we'll see some news events coming out. Now, lots happening in the markets, including Apple computers coming out with earning estimates last week that beat the street, propelling it to the first $1 trillion worth company. Okay, that's propelling the market even higher. We'll take a look at that in a moment. And also the dollar getting stronger across the board, and we'll take a look at that as well. So let's see what's been happening, what we can expect from this week.
This conference will now be recorded.
So we're jumping here into the Euro USD, and as you can see, we're trading at 1563. We broke our 1584 support, which was our second support level from 1620-ish level. And, really looking very weak here, okay? As you can see, we're really flirting with the bottom range here at 60-ish level. And if we continue this slide, there's no saying how much further we can go further down. Like looking at a daily chart, you can see we're at, we broke our previous year's low of the year at 1583-ish level. As you can see here, that was from last year of October. However, if we do break further down, okay, now we're looking at a daily chart, okay, our next real support level is 1473-ish level, okay, which is about 100 pips away. As you can see, that was a previous resistance level, that we maintained for a long time. So, we're really at a tremendous crossroads here for the Euro USD. If we do continue breaking this down, especially if we break this 1473, we could see ourselves going back to 112-ish level, where we haven't been in for more than a year. So just keep that in mind as we're trading this later today. And to see any sort of continued weakness in the pair for a further decline. Now, looking at the GBP USD, that's what's propelling us further down. We broke this 130-ish level, and we're looking at a weekly chart. This 130-ish level is quite essential because our next support level is 128. When we break that, you're back into the 123, 125-ish area. So, looking at the dollar, we're really getting stronger across the board. Now, you can't really see that looking at the Aussie USD as we're, trading somewhat in the mid-level here, as you can see, not really breaking out higher or lower, just trading within the range. So this is really just, isolated to the Euro USD and the GBP USD as they're getting weaker versus the dollar, okay? Because there's some relative strength with the Aussie dollar. However, looking at the USD ZAR, we, accelerated last week to 1345, and we mentioned that this was a nice resistance level, and sure enough, we broke down further down to 1331. And I do believe that we'll continue trading between this 1311 and 1345-ish level, as this is trading within the range. So keep that in mind as that continues to trade this week. Looking at gold. Now, gold's been breaking down throughout the year. We've been mentioning it. It's been very weak, closed down to 1205. We had a nice short squeeze last week to 1219, but I think this is a dead cat bounce, okay, which means that it's going to go further back down to 1200-ish level and maybe further down, okay, because I think the equity markets are quite stable and some of our concerns with inflation is in check, so there's no reason for gold to be rallying right now. Okay, with that said, we're trading at 1216. So if we do falter here and we break this, 1215-ish level, I believe that we'll continue going down and selling off. Now, looking at oil, we've been trading within a range, $67 to 68-ish dollars, okay, which has been a pretty tight range for oils recently as they're increasing output. OPEC is increasing output and stabilizing the price. We don't want the price to go up any higher, because of concerns of inflation and so forth. So, right now we're trading at 68.76, closer to the upper range of it. So I do expect that we'll have a little bit of a sell-off here, maybe 68.25. Nothing big, but something that will be trading within a range. Now, jumping into the main event, Apple computers last week, we mentioned this, 207, okay, trading at the highs, okay, all-time highs for the week. If we look at a 4-hour chart, we'll see that, we gapped up last week and we just sustained it, which means that there's still some chance that this will go up even higher. It's very scary to buy the top of the move because, you're buying the top of the move, right? If it recedes anything, people start taking money off the table, that's something that, you have to consider. So, maybe we'll have a correctional move today. I'm not sure, but, the market is propelled higher. And if we look at the NASDAQ, we'll see that it took it back to almost its all-time highs, as the rest of the stocks are following suit in the high-tech sector. So that's something to consider later today. Tesla also, gapped up last week after, better outlook in terms of their, consumption of cars. So, Tesla's been struggling for quite a while, really not finding any sort of, trend line on the upside, but this may change things. Okay, so keep that in mind as that continues to trade later today. Now, looking at the Dow Jones last week, we had, a little bit of a sell-off last week after the FOMC, but then a retaliatory move to the 25,458. So, a little bit of a resistance here at this 25,500-ish level. As you can see, we've hit this multiple times, okay, at this level, as you can see, okay. That's pretty much as clear as can be in terms of a resistance line on 25,500-ish levels. So if we do not break out higher, then I do believe that we'll have a little bit of a sell-off, maybe back down to the 25,000 area. Okay, so that's really something to consider later today. But I'm more inclined to think that we'll break out on the high side, break out higher than correct ourselves at this level. But just be aware, if we do correct ourselves, the downside is 25,000. Now, looking at the DAX, bouncing back here, okay, and it's struggling, but it does look like it's, resilient here at 12,600-ish level. Bit of a resistance at 12,641. So if we don't break this out higher, again, we'll see a little bit of a correctional move. But I'm a little bit biased on the high side right now, on the upside, as corporate earnings are still looking very positive, and we look like we've, are past some of the, big bellwethers, big companies that are, reporting their earnings for the quarter. So I think that, looking forward, we could see some continued strength in the equities markets. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.